when you walk in excellence, when you are where you're supposed to be. The price of excellence, which will let you know how well you're doing at times, is sometimes the vipers, the snakes trying to overthrow you, trying to sabotage you. Okay. Sometimes it's those that come to you with a smile or what appears to be a helping hand that is trying to set you up. This is not to make you paranoid with people. This is to keep it real, because the world will have you think that, oh, we can all just get along, and we don't live in that type of world. If you read the word of God, we are dealing with light against darkness. We shine our light against the darkness. And that's why a lot of people got a problem with us. When you shine your light and you're doing something right, that's why some people can't handle it. Okay? And what I want you all to know, some people hate you because you're everything that they are not. Some people despise you because they have to cosplay, okay, for people who they want people to think they are when they're not. And they will go after someone that's unsuspecting. That's why some of us, we got to be hidden, because until we are able to see and discern people and shut things down quickly, you got to be protected until you get to that point of where, okay, now I can see where this person is going to try something slick. Okay? Because you got people, they're unhappy with who they are. When they look in the mirror, they're not happy with who they see. So what they do, they cosplay and they project their insecurities onto you. They sneak around and they try to dispose of you at the earliest convenience. Why? Because they don't want a reminder of who they are not. So I'm going to tell y'all a story about when I started teaching at my first school. So when I started out as a new teacher, I was filling in after a teacher had resigned. And so there was a long-term sub in my spot. And this sub, now sometimes a sub, if they retire, they can have a teaching certificate, a license or whatever. But this person doesn't have a teacher's license or any type of professional certificate in education for her to have hold that spot. So at the time, now I didn't know all of this. I didn't see all of this. This here is what is occurring to me now more in the recent days, but I'm sharing this with you because while you are focused on getting yourself together, becoming better, people who feel like they have missed their time or they feel like they cannot measure up or whatever it is, they will try to dispose of you because they feel that you're going to steal their shine. They feel that you're going to upstep them. Okay. And I didn't realize what happened or the totality of what happened, I'm telling y'all, until recent days. And this was something that happened well over 10 years ago, y'all. Okay. But I was never bitter about it, because while this person over here scheming and plotting and taking advantage of me, I'm still over here trying to work on me. I'm still over here trying to better me. So this person that was working in the position that I was working in before I stepped in, again, this person is not a certified teacher, and the position was for a certified teacher. So that's why they put me there in that stead. So the person would offer to help out around the class, would sit in and see how I teach the students and stuff like that. And then the person would compliment me and be like, oh, you do such a wonderful job teaching the students and stuff. And so I thought, okay, I'm on the right track. Now, my thing was, I appreciated the compliment, but again, I did not recognize what was going on in that moment. So Sometime later, the assistant principal then would contact me and say that she wanted to meet with me in her office. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what happened, and I was a new teacher. So I was just curious because, I didn't understand what I've done wrong. And to my surprise, she told me that however you run your classroom, that's your decision. You're the teacher in that classroom. This other person here, that's not her classroom. You make those choices. So I believe that particular assistant administrator told the person that was trying to throw me under the bus, because she went and told the principal something I was doing in my class, but the way she was patting it up, she was trying to make it look like I was doing something wrong. But I think that assistant administrator told her, I'm going to tell this new teacher that this is what you did. So the person that tried to throw me under the bus came back and was like, oh, I am so sorry. I wasn't trying to tell you how to run your class or whatever. And me at the time, again, I was surprised about it, but at the same time, I wasn't even bitter about it. I kid you not, I was not bitter about it. I was not mad. And I had automatically forgiven that person. And see, a person like the one that did that deed to me, she likes stuff like that, definitely. And it wasn't just because of the forgiveness, because now I was open to still be kind to her, and she took advantage of me. Now she started asking me to do extra projects. And at the time, again, this is not a certified teacher, but she was stepping in, trying to get me to do stuff for her outside of the classroom. And I was new and somewhat naive. And then when I realized that these things were getting worse and worse, it got to the point where I had to stop her, because it was, she never paid me for what she asked me to do. But then she was critiquing like, well, you need to fix the mouth on this person here. Some project that I didn't ask to do, wasn't getting paid extra to do or nothing. This was outside of school. But she would come to me with stuff like, well, can you do this for my church? Can you do this for this person's baby shower? Can you do X, Y, and Z? It got to the point where I had to tell her no, especially when you critiquing and you not paying me anything. But at the end of the day, I had to learn. And what I seen and what happened was a person was so miserable with herself that she took it upon herself to try to get rid of me. She wanted to get that spot back again. She wanted to get rid of me so she can cosplay as a teacher, because she don't have a real certificate. Now, I tell you this because that's why sometimes you gotta be hidden, because if you don't see stuff like that. Like nowadays, I can see stuff like that a lot better. But there are times where there are some people, they're scheming on a level that you're not even privy to. There are some people, they are low to the ground, dirty in their heart. That's why you got to pray for these people. The Bible says, pray for those that despitefully use you. Pray for those that despitefully, they know that you haven't done anything wrong to them. They know that you have not done anything deserving of the treatment that they gave you. And they took advantage of you, knowing you loved them, knowing you respected them in the midst of their mess. But they continue on with their wickedness, taking advantage of you. And don't worry, okay? You are winning a lot more than what you think. Because what I want you to realize, okay, God continues to bless, sustain, and elevate you in front of these folks. See, their punishment is not just with them losing what they have, is watching you grow and elevate. And God allowing these people to fall in a place where they have to look up to you. Check that out. And that really did happen with that person. I'm gonna give you an example too. Because after I was really done with that person, and it wasn't done as in I cut that person off, other than stop doing all that extra stuff that I wasn't getting paid to do. But this person, I had stopped seeing her for a good little while. I knew what happened to her, whatever. But then eventually she came back to that same school and wanted to cosplay again as a teacher, because she really wanted to be a teacher, but she didn't have the credentials. And that's why she would do the things that she did to me. But it came a time where she was long-term subbing again, and for certain things that you had to do in a school, like with preparing the children for standardized testing, you had to be certified to do. So she had to look at me again. She had to observe me again, doing what she really wanted to do. But this time, even though she was long-term subbing for this class, she had to step aside because she didn't have the credential. And they told me that she couldn't be in the class by herself. I had to go in the classroom with her because she was not qualified. And again, remember how I said in the beginning, she tried to get rid of me because when I came in her stead, she was long-term subbing, and in her mind, that made her feel good. It made her feel significant. She couldn't be a real teacher, so she had to have that simulation of it. She had to cosplay for others what she wanted to be. And that's why some people don't like who we are, because we don't have to cosplay. So this is not to act as if we're better than other people. This is to show you what people will do when they feel like they cannot measure up to you. A person that's discontented, they're going to try to get rid of you. They're going to try to dispose of you. And what she did with me is, when she could not get rid of me, then she used me. And see, while I was able to let it go, you still have an all-knowing God that sees everything and will put the stuff right up in their face when they thought they was finished having to study you. Gotta put it back right where they can't help but observe. And that's to remind them, you cannot mess with somebody that I'm covering. I want this to encourage y'all. If this message has inspired you, hit the subscribe button and God bless you.